today we are going to talk about one of the problems which are ravaging the country of Nigeria, which is giving everyone headache. That is insecurity. So, starting from it, we have to understand and know that the most dangerous terrorist group in the whole of Africa are found in Western Africa, which is the Boko Haram alias ISWAP. They have renamed themselves ISWAP, Islamic State West African Province. This has been happening since the year 2001 after it was formed by their leader, Mohammed. So you have to ask yourself, the whole Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the strongest nation in the whole continent of Africa when it comes to military power, even upon the resources they have to stop the affairs and activities of those terrorist groups. So, in this analysis, I'm going to explain to you the reasons why it seems as if the efforts that people are putting, both the local and the international communities, to see to the end of these security threats, seem not to be yielding any meaningful seed. So, to begin with, we will start comparing the power and places of those two groups, which is the Nigerian Federal Republic at large, under which under whose umbrella you will find the Nigerian military, and then the ISWAP community on their own, the Boko Haram insurgents or terrorists groups. So, first of all, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as obvious, is the strongest military power in the whole of Africa. Why, upon all those things, they are still unable to defeat the country? So, first of all, the Nigerian army on their own has a total of 180 to 200,000 personnel fighting, which are fit for field activities, who, when if called today, are ready for war. They have been well trained and well organized that if anything happens, they can utilize them, they can use them on any security threat. While the ISWAP, Boko Haram on their own side, have only about 5,000 to 10,000 fighters. So, putting it straight, the Boko Haram terrorist group only has 5% of the total number of Nigerian military personnel who are fit for fighting. While on the other hand, Nigerian military has conventional military equipment, including tanks, artillery, and aircraft. But the Boko Haram group has only improvised explosive devices, which is the IEDs, small arms, and anti-aircraft guns. The Nigerian army has a hierarchical structure with clear chain of command, while the Boko Haram is decentralized, cell-based structure with unclear leadership. The government is the one funding the Nigerian army with an annual budget of approximately $2 billion. So Nigeria spends about $2 billion every year on security budget. So at the end of the day, we don't know what is actually happening. Then Boko Haram group on their own have only illicit funding sources, including kidnapping, extortion, smuggling, and support from other political figures and people from the international community that is across the border, like the Al-Qaeda, the ISIS, and a handful of others. Nigerian army controls most of Nigeria's territory, with some areas still being contested, while the terrorist group controls only parts of northeastern Nigeria, which includes Sambisa Forest and Lake Chad, some parts of Borno and Chad and Yobe, Damaturu, Sokoto, and all that. But still, with it, the kind of tactics with which Nigerian military fights is conventional military tactics, including patrols, ambush, and airstrikes. While The terrorist group use asymmetric warfare targets, including IEDs, ambush, kidnapping, suicide bombing, and a number of others. Nigeria take formal military training, with some personnel receiving international training, which we see often happen. They bring people from France, um, America, sometimes Britain, to teach them how to fight. But when it comes to morale, that is where the problem is. So there has been a case of very low morale among Nigerian army and the personnel there because of the corruption. You see, when you do not have enough weapon with which to fight and you do not have enough motivation, many of them have developed low interest. Others have actually lost interest and left the military organization, while those who are there just remain there for their salaries. So when the salaries are not being paid, the will to fight will not be there. It was not some months ago that a group of Nigerian troops eliminated the head of the bandits leaders, known as Sububu, and the five personnel who spent their whole life to save and safeguard the life of Nigerians. So they were given around 1 million naira, and they are not worth around 200,000 naira or so for each of them. And there have been long complaints that they are not being well paid. Many of them haven't have the capacity to travel from the northern part of Nigeria to the south, from where they were posted. Others do not have the capacity to travel from the south to the north, since their salaries are not even enough to take them from where they are working to their personal village. Most of them don't even travel for Christmas. They don't do that. So even though they are receiving international support from international communities like the UK, US, France, Boko Haram receives support from some extremist groups, including Al Qaeda, ISIS, and others. But one thing that you do not know is the zeal to fight. Some of them have stronger zeal to fight than the others. So while Nigerian army are being demotivated by the actions of the whole federal government, the other ones are being manipulated and brainwashed into fighting, and most of them are being well paid. So while the other ones find the desire in fighting for a promise of physical reward, and even that which comes after death, that is the metaphysical aspect of it, what will happen in the spiritual after they are gone. So they believe they are fighting like saintly matters, people who are fighting for just cause, and because of it, the possibility that the tendency that they will be oppressed is very high. So they already know it. When you are fighting, you are not fighting for the sake of what you get in the physical world. Time is coming when you will understand what you have actually paid for. Then on the other side, the Nigerian military are not even being well equipped. They know they are facing danger, and they are not giving them enough weapons with which to fight. No enough geographical information and study. And now we have to dive into the very matters, the very cause of it, which makes it seem as if they are not doing a lot. So here are some 15 reasons why the Nigerian military is still yet to defeat Boko Haram, who are just even 5% of their capacity, where 200 men are not strong enough to defeat only but 10 men. So the very first reason for it is corruption. So it is both within the military and the government, where many of them have been compromised. Where they have been compromised, the leadership of the military and that of the government may even put hands together, may even join together or collaborate or connive to even undermine the very cause which was entrusted to their care and entrusted to their professional and political offices to take care of. A situation whereby most of those people who are in office to take care of to make the rules and the laws that will decide, let us finish these people, let us solve this problem once and for all, are even those who are affiliated with those terrorist groups. As I said earlier, this thing is the case of religious issue. It's because of religious issue, and it is more of something about Muslim against the world, or something about the world against Islam, and not just something about people who just decide and pick up weapons. If it is a group of criminals, you see that they picked up weapons and began to fight. It is easy to scatter them. But when it has to do with ideology, the ideology of people is the thing that you cannot easily defeat. If you kill a man, he has taught it to his five sons. If you catch his five sons and kill three, the other two of them will go and get married. They will multiply and teach them the same thing. In addition, with the spirit and desire for vengeance, telling him that your brothers had been martyred and you must avenge them. For every single person that was killed, you must kill five. So if five people have been killed, they must kill 25. And if you kill the three of them, their five children might get up and want to avenge again. That is how the thing is going. So most of the people who are in the government, I have read a story of where the soldiers were complaining that their commanders are very compromised. And because of it, they often send them to a place where the terrorists are already laying ambush. So when they are laying ambush, they pre-inform the terrorists on their own side that they should get ready, that they have sent a number of men on their way. This is the number of weapons they have. When they come, finish them and take whatever they have. And the problem is that most of the people who are posted there are from the lower side of the country, the southern side of the country, and they are not familiar with the issue. So when the Muslim commanders in the group do not want their Muslim brothers to be killed, and people from their same community and all that, what they do is they find Christians from the southern side of the country, from the south, and send them to the north and send the northern soldiers down to the south. And when they go there, due to the reason of sentiment, the southern Nigerian soldiers will be burning with the desire to go and fight. They'll be burning with the desire to go and fight, and the commanders who are in charge, the captains, wouldn't want it to happen. So what they do is they pre-inform the other men, the terrorists, that they should get ready and prepared. They will now send the soldiers on their way. So when they have reached the middle of the place, the place they are sent to go is far away. The ambush is already nearer. Driving, they will not know, and before you know what is happening, they will come under attack. Now, when they want to fight, the weapons which we are giving to them often fail because they are not up to standard. Most of them are already out of date, and most of them are not even functional. So the other people have more sophisticated weapons. You can easily kill them all and then carry their armor tanks and add it to your own. The Nigerian military's approach to combating Boko Haram has been criticized for being too kinetic, focusing on brute force rather than more nuanced counter-insurgency strategy, which has to do with the use of intelligence rather than just getting up and then going to fight. So this kind of style, which has been kind of too conventional, that it is known to all, rather than be innovative and be evolving with the process of time, they do not do that. What they rather do is use the same style that has been used for years, and that is why most of their actions, they don't usually succeed. And the second one is the third one is insufficient intelligence gathering. So the military has been struggling to gather accurate and timely intelligence on Boko Haram's movement and plans. But due to the reason of betrayal and the same thing I have said, which most of the commanders who are in the military structure are also part of the terrorist structure. So it is an issue of betrayal and sabotage. Any plans they have made will easily be reviewed to those who they are going to fight. And there is nothing more dangerous than a soldier trying laying his plan, not knowing that his enemy have them on his palms. The fourth one is poor coordination, which there have been reports of poor coordination between different branches of the military and between the military and other security agencies. Where the Navy would want to go, the foot soldiers wouldn't want to go. Where the military would want to do and the paramilitary wouldn't want to give their own support. Then the presence of inadequate equipment. Some of the money that have been given out to the Nigerian soldiers to go and procure some equipment to fight. Most of them, the billions of dollars which they say they budgeted for the security, they don't usually go there. They don't pay their soldiers. They don't pay their workers. They don't even repair their vehicles. Most of them even break down along the way. It's like a funny joke, but it always happens. Most of them always break down on the way. Then the fifth one is the Boko Haram guerrilla tactics, which they use guerrilla tactics such as ambush and bombing, suicide bombing, which is popular among them, has made it difficult for the military to pinpoint and engage them. Then you talk about territorial advantage, that Boko Haram's familiarity with the terrain in northeastern Nigeria has given them an advantage over the military. And as I said earlier, most of the foot soldiers who are being sent there to fight are not familiar with the place they are going to fight. Most of them live in plains and marshy areas of the southern country of Nigeria, and they are not used to the dense forest and arid deserts of the north. And most of the commanders who usually send them don't oftentimes go with them. So when they go there, they become confused. And in the presence of it is not where you are fighting that you start learning your environment. And that is what makes them. You are walking into a forest and you don't know whether there is a river ahead of you, there is a cave, there is a mountain, there is anything. You don't know whether there is a glade or anything. Now you cannot surveil the place with something like drones, because most of the time the tendency that those things will get shut down are always there. So another thing is international connections. Boko Haram's connection to the international terrorist organizations such as Al Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban have provided them with access to funding, training, and expertise. You don't really understand the kind of zeal and emotion with which these people fight. A man who fights with his emotion is more powerful than the mercenary who fights for his salary. The time you stop paying him the salary, they will stop. But if a man fights with sentiment, even if you take whatever he has, he can live alone and then fight it alone. You talk about economic and social factors, which like poverty, unemployment, and social inequality in northeastern Nigeria has also contributed to the issue. And they are not cooperating. One other thing you don't know is that the international community has a lot of interest in the affairs of other countries, and mostly they benefit from those social and internal insecurities, because when two brothers are busy fighting, a stranger will be harvesting their father's crop. I don't know, the crop in Nigeria is the natural resources which God has given to us. The stranger is the man who comes from the west across the sea. Even the eastern people are already paying interest in Africa because they know it is a gold mine. But everyone knows that the one who wears the real gold bracelet does not visit the mine. So when two brothers, just as it happened in Congo, when two brothers are busy fighting over a property, the stranger can even steal it without their knowledge. So as time goes on, we will still go on to explain more. We look forward to having good leaders, because only good leaders have the power to stop this insurgency in Nigeria. But depending on the present ones we have, we only have to endure it towards the end of time. Unless we have better ones, there is not going to be a change. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let us go on ahead and try to analyze the situation of the country and know what the future holds. Thank you.